Hello, freedom seekers. Jeremy Chambers, Independence Acres Homestead here. Excited to be sharing with you our garden tour that is part of the Homesteaders of America 2020 Grow Your Own Food Garden Tour collaboration. One of the first steps that you can take towards true independence is growing your own food. And for us, that started here this year in our greenhouse. So we're in southeastern Michigan, which is on the line of 5A, 5B growing area. So we've got a fairly short growing season. So we try to maximize our growing season with the greenhouse. This greenhouse is new for us this year. I had an idea that this was going to be a very important thing for us this year and for our community, and so that we can help equip others to grow within their property. And it has been. We started about 240 tomato plants, about 200 pepper plants. We've been growing just a number of greens here and eating out of this greenhouse for the last 2 months. It's been absolutely wonderful. So let me give you a quick rundown of the greenhouse. We've got 2 potting benches, one on each side. We have racks across each side coming off the tops of the potting benches there, which are our growing racks for all of our seedlings. And then underneath those racks, we have 2 raised beds. On this side here, we've got a spinach bed, which is completely gone to seed, but we're still able to pick off some spinach and get as much of it as we can. Behind the spinach, we've got a nice Swiss chard bed. It's been doing really well for us this year. To the west side here, what was in this area here was some black-eyed Simpson lettuce. There's still 1 or 2 plants right over here that we've been eating off of for the last month and a half, and it's been great to be able to have that out of the garden. We've pulled that out now and put in some peppers. There's some cabbage and plenty of snow peas. And then on the opposite side, over here, we had some radishes and some salad greens, and the carrots are still growing. But that has all gone to seed now and bolted on us because of the heat. And now we went ahead and pulled those out and have replaced it with some peppers, so we can have some hothouse peppers going in here. Hoping those will grow well. All right, and then stepping out of the greenhouse, we've got a small raised bed over here. I hand split the logs for this raised bed. We've got some strawberries in a container. We've got our tomatillos and some nasturtium flowers. Those are nice edible flowers. What we've got here in these pots are some tomatoes. They are some patio planters. So the plants in the rack over there and the tray are actually ones that we had taken to a farmer's market to sell to our local community. And it's been great to be able to go to the farmer's market and to help provide a source of plants to the community around us. And those have just been out sitting around for the last day or two, just so they can get a little extra sun and just to liven back up after being transported. So as I mentioned, we are in Michigan. Our growing season is much shorter than a lot of the southern homesteads that are taking part in this tour. So because of that, there's some accommodations that we have to make. The first, like I said, is the greenhouse. It's going to extend our growing season a little bit. And the second is understanding that we can't compare ourselves to the productivity of the gardens in the South. So I tell you what, as a northerner living in Michigan, it's kind of disappointing sometimes to watch these other southern gardeners and the successes that they have. It's hard to see them picking fruit when I'm just getting my plants in the garden. So today we put in about 36 pepper plants, multiple varieties of hot peppers and sweet peppers. We just got those in the garden today and got these things mulched in. Over here, we've got our tomato plants. Those are on our S-curve trellis. We've got some pretty unique varieties here. Pink brandywines, which are my favorite, make great tomato sandwiches, along with some pineapples, purple Russian, San Marzano for making sauce, and some pretty unique cherry tomatoes. We've got the Brad's Atomic Grape, and this is pretty much will be just enough for us to get the tomatoes that we need to can or freeze or to make sauce. And this is just a little plot that we have for our family. With the peppers, the reason I grew so many this year is because I'm excited to make like a fermented pepper sauce or pickled pepper rings. We really enjoy pickled banana peppers. All right, Josh, so quick question for you. What is your favorite thing to grow in the garden or the greenhouse?
I think it's going to be the cucumber.
Cucumbers, all right. And what are you most looking forward to harvesting and eating?
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers? Why cucumbers?
Because they're my favorite vegetable.
Oh, all right. Awesome. Now, tell me a little bit about these things right here. What did you plant right here?
Carrots.
Carrots. Are you looking forward to getting some carrots?
Yeah, but it looks like they overgrew a little bit, and I don't think they're gonna grow right because they're looking really overgrown.
Yeah, just a little bit of an experiment this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you. High five. One of our struggles this year, besides obviously the weather and the short growing season, has been fighting these cucumber beetles. We actually, in this area, had some beautiful cucumber plants that we had finished out, started in the greenhouse, put them out here. They were beautiful for about 4 days, and they started to get wilty and brown, started getting holes in the leaves, and then this is what I was left with, empty holes and tags showing where cucumber plants should be. So we've really been battling these cucumber beetles. And one of the things that I have employed to do that is these yellow sticky traps. And those have been very successful in getting the black and yellow striped cucumber beetles under control. But we're still fighting them a little bit over here with our zucchini and squash. So we're also doing something a little interesting this year, something I've never tried before, which is to grow all of our summer squash vertically. So what we have is a stake that we've put in on either side of the plant, and we're going to train this plant to grow up between these stakes. And the idea is that it will allow the airflow to get into the plant a little better, and help to prevent powdery mildew, and also make it a little easier for me to inspect the plants for those squash vine borers that we all struggle with in our garden. So that's what these couple rows here are. Here is zucchini and yellow squash. The last plant that we actually have ready to go in the garden already is our Cherokee tan pumpkins. We grew these for the first time last year with a different collaboration with some other homesteads throughout the country, and I just absolutely fell in love with the fruit that comes off of this vine. It is just everything that you want in a pumpkin. It's sweet, it has wonderful flavor, and I'm not a pumpkin eater. So across this squash arch here, we've got 6 plants, and then I've got 2 more along the fence line here, and we've left a large area here for this squash to, this Cherokee tan pumpkin to grow out and to take over this area. So we'll train those vines to cover this area. And then over here we've got our garlic bed, which the scapes are just starting to grow and curl here. So we'll be harvesting those in the next day or two and have some wonderful garlic scape saute. And then as we come over here, we've got some Russian red kale, along with some cabbage and some butterhead bib lettuce. As you see, we've got a little bit of chicken wire around this raised bed. That's because every once in a while the chickens get in here, and also every once in a while the wild rabbits get in here. And we just need to do something to protect our cabbage and our lettuce from being absolutely demolished. And then over here on the side of the garlic and kale bed, we have our herb beds. Here we've got some cilantro growing. Still have got to get the basil and the dill in here, just waiting for those to hardy up a little bit before they come out. And then over in that bed is our chives, garlic chives. We've got a couple onions, oregano, and thyme growing in that bed over here. Now, we still have a decent amount of area in our garden here that has not been planted. So we've got this squash arch over here. We've been fighting the weeds around it a little bit. Finally think I've got them under control. Under the arch, we have planted some lettuce and some more cabbage so that they'll have a little bit of shade and be a little protected from any foul weather that we might have. And then around the arch itself, this is where we're going to be planting our tromboncino squash. If you're not familiar with tromboncino squash, it's just a wonderful squash. It grows these long, very, very elongated fruit that curl and can be eaten green and fresh like a zucchini, or they can be allowed to harden on the vine a little bit, and they can be eaten as a winter squash. So that'll probably be one of the last things to go in. We got those seeds in a little late in the greenhouse, but they're doing well. All right, Luke, quick question. What have you enjoyed growing so far?
Lettuce.
Lettuce. And what are you most looking forward to harvesting and eating out of the garden?
Banana pepper.
Ooh, banana peppers. What's your best, how do you like banana peppers made?
Pickled.
Pickled banana peppers. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on our garden tour this evening. And make sure you go back and check out the rest of the videos on today's playlist. Now, go grow something. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll be able to see a little bit more about what goes on here in our homestead. We also deal with meat rabbits. We've got quail in the incubator and chickens and just all kinds of tomfoolery going on here. We really appreciate you joining us. And until next time, God bless.